Hi, I'm Colin Edmondson, the Wheat Technical Manager for Pacific Seeds. Now, I've been involved in the breeding and selecting of wheat in the long reach program since it started in 2002. So thanks for giving me some of your time to provide some more details about Cobra. Firstly, some background about Cobra's breeding. Now, it's a Westonia cross, so it's based on a quick maturing, widely adapted variety. It started its life in Western Australia and it was released first there in 2011. In spring 2012, we released Cobra in South Australia and Victoria, and that was really based on grower demand because growers had already started bringing Cobra from WA seed and were growing it that season. Uptake of Cobra in South Australia and Victoria. Now, as I said, a number of growers have already test ran Cobra in the 2012 season in South Australia and Victoria from seed they purchased in Western Australia. These paddocks have generated good interest from other growers. Cobra is now widely available from South Australia and Victorian seed crops. Let's talk a bit about the bottom line with Cobra and yield performance. Now, I'd encourage you to look up data from long reach and NVT trials, grower groups, as well as talk to growers in the area which have grown Cobra to see really how it's gone for them. Cobra has shown its hand in trials as to what it can do, and it can top yield trials. It should be considered as an upside variety on your farm, a variety that can turn a season with some good opportunity into maximum yield. Now, it's a solid performer in tight years when seasons push varieties, based on it being early, but it really delivers for you in the good years based on it having really high yield potential. Quality, grade and reliability, what about Cobra? Importantly, it's the maximum grade in South Australia, it's AH, and that was an achievement we got in spring last year. So this means that it's automatically a default APW in Victoria, and we'll be submitting it for an upgrade in late March 2013. Long-term data shows Cobra to have solid grain specs, and its strength, I think, for grain specs is really its speed of grain filling. It's got a very rapid grain filling, and that helps it deliver a solid grain sample. Cobra's got slightly smaller grain than Westonia, but it's similar in other specs like test weight and sprouting to Westonia. Sound for Black Point. Sprouting-wise, it does not have any extra tolerance like we know Scout does, but being fast maturing, it'll be harvested at the front end of the program. Some features of Cobra's disease profile. Now, I'm not going to talk about all of its disease, just a few key points, because ratings for the major diseases are widely published in South Australia and Victoria. Firstly, what does it excel at? Strength, so it's got very good stem and leaf rust, and you'd expect that of any new variety you picked up. Very good yellow leaf spot is also a strength of Cobra, and coping with the weed-on situation is an opportunity for a variety like this. The long reach rating for yellow leaf spot is MRMS. Other areas where Cobra's solid, for CCN, it's got a useful level of MRMS, so that intermediate is important in our systems where we know CCN's been a part of the background. It's solid for powdery mildew and an improvement on wild catching and a slight improvement on mace. What about areas which you might need to support with management? Stripe rust wise, the stripe rust resistance in Cobra is based on adult plant resistant genes, and it performs very similar to wild catcher. So what this means is under pressure, especially in the cooler months of the year, it's going to need to be supported by fungicides. But like wild catchment, its stripe rust resistance improves as temperatures heat up in spring. So it has that same temperature responsive adult plant resistance. Growing Cobra on farm, what is it like and where does it fit? Cobra is similar to a few wheats jumbled together. Maturity wise, it's somewhat similar to wild catcher and mace, being an early mid variety. But it's best suited to being planted at the front end of the program, so it gets growing and tillering, as maximising early growth is a key part of Cobra's yield. Being widely adapted to SA and Vic soils is one of the things we've also seen in Cobra. It doesn't have specifically boron tolerance, but it's been selected on highly alkaline soils, but it does have some acidity tolerance in its background. Growers' feedback has been very positive after 2012. It's slightly taller than wild catcher and shorter than mace, and what growers are seeing is that it's got a good fit in direct drilling and stubble retention systems in the way it grows. But I think most importantly, it's really been noted in spring as banging out heads and filling them fast, and that's the lasting memory most people have taken from Cobra crops they've seen last year. So growers can see how they can work with Cobra to maximise the upside years. Getting it in and getting it growing has also been noted by advisors and growers as an important part of Cobra. Seeds widely available from the Pacific Seed Associate Network and retailers across South Australia and Victoria. Thanks again for giving me your time, and I hope that Cobra will be a success for your farm if what we have talked about sounds like a good fit for you. Good luck with this year's crop.